Welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to be unpacking a sort of secret technical lever that completely flipped the script for the tech industry back in 2026. We are talking about the exact mechanism that suddenly made always-on AI agents financially viable. Now, it's a brilliant, maybe somewhat unglamorous technical feature, but I promise you, by the end of this, you are going to see exactly why it dictates whether an AI project absolutely thrives or completely dies. So here is the central mystery we're looking at. For years, we all knew AI models were entirely capable of running continuously, right? Monitoring systems, handling endless ticket queues, executing massive background workflows, but they were just way too incredibly expensive to leave running all the time. Then, seemingly overnight, this massive cost collapse happened across the industry. But how? Well, to understand the solution, we really have to understand the massive, hidden inefficiency that was quietly draining everyone's budgets. And that brings us to what's known as the multi-step problem. Whenever an AI agent works through a complicated task, it doesn't just think once and finish. It operates in loops. It makes call after call after call to the underlying model. But here's the problem. On every single one of those calls, the agent has to resend its entire accumulated context to the model, just so it remembers what it's actually doing. Think about what that accumulated context actually looks like in practice. Every single time the agent calls the model, an entire block of text gets sent over. We're talking the overarching system prompt, the intricate tool definitions, the entire long conversation history, plus any reference documents it retrieved along the way. In a multi-step loop, almost none of this text has actually changed since the last call just a few seconds ago. Yet, the model has to process this entire block of text from scratch over and over again. By the 20th step of a task, you are literally paying the AI to read its own instruction manual for the 20th time.
The sheer scale of this waste is honestly staggering. Cost analyses of production agent deployments revealed that this endlessly resent, completely unchanged context often accounts for well over half of a production agent's entire bill. In some audits, it reached as high as 62%. You are paying a massive premium just for the AI to constantly reread its own rulebook.
Enter the absolute hero of our story, prompt caching. Now, the absolutely crucial point here is that this is not an approximation. It is a pure compute shortcut. It basically lets the model provider store the computed internal representation of a stable prompt prefix. Then, on the very next call, it just reuses that computed state instead of starting from scratch. And because the output is mathematically identical, there is absolutely zero quality trade-off. None. You get the exact same intelligence, it's just delivered differently. When you compare the real-world benefits, the difference is night and day. With the old method, recomputing the context means you pay full price, and you wait a lot longer for the model to process all that text. But with caching, by reusing that stable prefix, the cache tokens cost dramatically less. And because the model skips all that heavy lifting, the time it takes to get your first response typically drops significantly as well. It is one of those incredibly rare win-wins in software engineering. But here is where it gets highly strategic for developers. The two biggest AI providers in the space, Anthropic and OpenAI, looked at this exact same problem and chose to implement prompt caching completely differently. And this technical divide fundamentally alters how you should be building and budgeting your applications. The contrast in how they handle this is actually pretty fascinating. Anthropic uses an explicit approach. Developers actually have to do some setup. You have to mark specific sections of your prompt as cacheable using a parameter called cache control. But the reward for putting in that work, a massive 90% discount on cached reads. OpenAI, on the other hand, takes an automatic approach. If you have a stable prefix over roughly 1,024 tokens, they just cache it automatically. Zero code changes required. But the trade-off for that ease of use is a smaller, standard discount of around 50%. Now, before you immediately jump over to Anthropic for that sweet 90% discount, there's a catch you definitely need to know about. Anthropic actually charges about 1.25 times the standard input rate to write something into that short-lived cache for the first time. What that means is your savings really only kick in after that exact same prefix is reused at least once. However, every single reuse after that first hit is incredibly cheap. It's practically a pure discount. So how do you actually choose between the two? Well, it all comes down to your workload. If your team is processing a really heavy amount of static context, say more than 500,000 tokens per day, putting in the extra engineering work to set up Anthropic's explicit caching tends to easily pay for itself. But if your agent workloads are smaller or maybe just sporadic throughout the day, OpenAI's zero-effort automatic caching is usually going to be the much simpler, much more effective choice. Okay, let's dive into this next part because it is absolutely critical. There is a single point of failure that determines whether this entire concept actually saves you money or fails completely. We call it the golden rule of prompt ordering. Remember, caching only applies to a stable prefix. That means everything that comes before the very first piece of changing content in your request. There is an exact mandatory sequence you absolutely must follow. You have to put the most stable content at the very top. Step 1, your system prompt. Step 2, your tool definitions. Step 3, any long static reference material you've loaded in. Step 4, the slowly changing conversation history. And finally, step 5, tucked all the way at the very end of the prompt, the current user message, which changes every single time. Because if you don't follow that exact order, you fall right into what we can call the timestamp trap. Imagine a developer deciding to put a tiny, seemingly harmless variable element, like, say, a timestamp or a unique request ID, at the very top of the prompt just for logging purposes. Because that tiny element changes on every single call, it instantly invalidates the entire cache that comes after it. Just like that, a tiny string of numbers breaks the compute shortcut, and you are forced to pay full price on every single request. And let me tell you, this isn't just some theoretical worry. One firm audited engineering teams who were actively running agentic AI in production. And what did they find? Quote, "This exact mistake was the single most common reason caching failed to deliver savings. Incredibly smart teams were overpaying by massive margins, all because of an incredibly simple ordering error." The real-world stakes here are enormous when a company finally gets this technical structure right. We aren't just talking about shaving a few pennies off an API bill here. Getting this right completely changes the unit economics of the entire business. Take a security research company called Project Discovery, for example. They looked under the hood of their AI deployment and realized they had a massive ordering problem. Their cache hit rate was a pretty dismal 7%. But simply by rearranging their prompt sequence to follow that golden rule we just talked about, their cache hit rate skyrocketed to 84%, practically instantly. And the crucial point is what happened to their budget as a direct result of that single fix. By hitting the cache 84% of the time, Project Discovery cut their total AI spend by an astonishing 59 to 70%, just by moving some text around in their code. Crazy, right? Or take this example from a growth stage software company running AI coding agents. Before properly implementing caching alongside a few other cost controls, their monthly AI bill was a painful $87,000. After caching, it plummeted to just $24,000 a month. That is an annual saving of more than $750,000. And honestly, the best part? Because caching is mathematically identical, there is absolutely no drop in their engineering output. This all brings us right back to that always-on future we started with. Why does caching matter so much more for these continuous agents than for occasional one-off AI queries? Because an agent running continuously, handling that endless queue of tickets, or executing a massive multi-step workflow is the exact pattern prompt caching was built for. It's a large, stable block of rules reused constantly, with only tiny variables changing each time. Without caching, the cost of running these agents just scales linearly. Every single step they take adds a flat, expensive fee, because you are repaying for the same accumulated context over and over. But with caching, the cost of that stable context drops by 50 to 90%. You literally break the linear scaling. That staggering cost drop is exactly the difference between an AI agent that's way too expensive to run and one that can comfortably run in the background 24/7. And when you take this massive cost collapse and pair it with smart model routing, which basically means you send the easy, routine steps to a cheaper, smaller model, and only wake up the most expensive, highly capable model for the absolute hardest steps in the loop, well, magic happens. The cost of running a sophisticated, always-on agent falls into a range where round-the-clock automation finally becomes genuinely, practically affordable for everyday businesses. Which leaves us with this final, incredibly vital takeaway. This isn't just a minor edge case optimization for the IT crowd. Whether your next major AI project survives beyond its pilot phase or gets immediately canceled by the finance department might simply come down to how you arrange your text. So I challenge you to go look at your own prompts today. Are you taking full advantage of caching, or are you secretly falling into the timestamp trap? The answer might just dictate the future of your entire product.